Up. And... Aha. Okay. I am visible now. As well as audible. Hopefully the music's a good volume. Okay. And here is the sprite that I'm working on. Right, if I move this, does it... Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything to that. Cool. I was like, I'm scooting this. Alright, pull that for reference. So... real quick, I'm gonna just pull the palette from the other one to start. No removal of colors, please. And this should be color palette 8. Indeed it is. Okay. So, cool. I have not opened GIMP recently enough. wait. Ah, it's awful. Alright, maybe if I make it bigger. Yes, this is the brush I want to use. Thank you. Thank you for currently being set to clipboard instead of pixel. Oh, alright. So, this is Felitt. It is an electric type. I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, it's just an electric type. God, he has a lot of dark blue, so it's gonna be fun. Dark blues are fun to look at on screens when trying to compare colors to make sure that they're all, you know, adequately colored in. So, I guess to sort of begin here, actually, just to keep the nose more distinct, I'm not going to put any of the black outline there, because like you can still tell the nose is the nose here from below, but I don't want to corrupt it too much. But yeah, Felitt's an electric type. It's kind of similar to Eevee with how we kind of decided to do it. In that it has this like a heavily branched evolution path. Yeah, okay. So the evolution path for this one is split 3 ways like the original Eevee. All of them keep like a little bit of their electric type. And all of them are cats. I've actually done touch-ups on the back sprite of one of them already. There's 2 left in this line that haven't been touched up, and well, not including this one anymore. But 2 of them are gonna get done today. Because that's what I'm doing right now. Here, I gotta see this, just like that. Alright. So this is one of those ones that's like already pretty dang good. Like, look at this cape. Like, if I put it to their correct scale, that is amazing. Just like, you know, like you get the dither, but the dither allows for that like nice subtle like sense of ripples. So like that one's just, there's not much I can do with the cape. But I think the main areas I have where I can kind of do something are like this shading on like the body itself. Which actually I think go like that. So, kind of want the tail to do a little bit of that. Don't think those dots there are necessary to give it, you know, that orb shape. Though, I do kind of wonder that, but it could be that. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna see if we put a circle on this. See, 22 by 22. Yeah, it's not quite as circular as I think it could be. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna modify this outline, and then I'm gonna kind of minimally do what I can to the shading, because I think the shading on it's good. I just think this could be rounder, because it is basically just a perfect circle on the end of this tail. So I'm gonna kind of smack away these. Double up pixels. And then is that like 19 by 19? I think that was. I'm going to kind of just slightly tweak it. As far as the lighting goes, to give it a little more direction. And then I'm gonna push this actually a little bit out of the circle. Hard edge, please. And then let's get this color. Oh, we're actually not even using the brightest. I didn't even realize that the brightest doesn't get used on this orb. I might add it for some extra flavor then. But if I do it that way, I'm realizing. Because now, hello? Yeah, because now what we've got is this part that's centered and this part that's not centered. So I'm actually going to redo that 19 by 19 one such that it's kind of centered where this one is. Believe. Oh. Gotta expand it. I'm gonna make the, because I don't want it to be that small. Okay, so this is going to be the medium zone. So I'm gonna invert. How do I invert selection? Why am I not remembering? Yeah, it is just Control I. Oh, I did it and I didn't even realize because it just adds the that the outside is selected. Oofy. Oh, I'm realizing that my phone's not keeping up with chat. Sorry, Mike. Now I can. It's gonna be lightning with it. Yo, hey Keith. Yeah, we had crazy high temps here as well up until the storms hit us. The first storm hit us at like probably close to 1. I was just like sitting there and I like it's like, oh, it's raining now, okay. And then by the evening or by the late afternoon another one hit. I feel like even though it technically kind of goes off the circle here. Does that look better? No, that does look dumb. Does that look better? Kind of. That sounds like fun conditions for yard work. There was one lightning bolt that like hit pretty close to where I work. Like we just saw this huge flash, and so a bunch of people in the office like looked over, and they had like a good view of what was going on outside. And there was just this dude walking, and then this thunder rumbles that literally shook the whole building. Oh, Mike screams hi to you in chat.
Hi. We had a thunder that like shook the building too.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been some of the same storm. Probably not the same one.
This one was right before we left work, so right before 4.
Okay, so that's, yeah, because I think ours was like 3:30ish or something. But like, so there was like a, Keith also says hello. But there's the, like there was like a dude walking, and this like the thunder literally shook the whole building. Like, the windows went like, whoa, like they just, it was like crazy amount of shake and rumble. And this dude who was walking down the street carrying his lunchbox did not even flinch. He was just walking. That man, I don't know where he was going, but he was determined to get wherever that was. Nothing was gonna stop him. I don't know if he was just going to work or what, but that man, I don't know how he did it. He do be walking. I don't think it was metal, but I also did not get to see. I just heard my coworker go, "Man, that dude with the lunchbox didn't even flinch." He's just walking along. Yeah, I don't like that. Like that? I do kind of like that. That's okay. Then I'd be going too far if I did those. Yeah, I don't mind that. I feel like I could make this circle larger. Just because I'm looking at the original like front sprite, and that is a fat ball. Like the light highlight on it, it's very big. So I'm thinking I embiggen it. Clown music. This is the Skull Kid song from Twilight Princess. Which is just Saria's song. Or, well, the Lost Woods music, rather. Not Saria's song. Okay, is that just Saria's song? That might just be Saria's song. Ah, true. true. Here, in that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pick this up. I'm gonna scoot it so that it's not as directly from the, you know, outside light source. I'll do that. Yeah, because this kind of has like a lantern tail, or a lantern light kind of a vibe, which I actually got to get a feel for when I was working on spriting the all of the art that Lynn did for me of my mons from Pokemon Fool's Gold. I had like a lantern in it, and so that was the so like that gave me a chance to kind of get a feel for how Lantern's like tail was done, which was surprisingly it was more directed by the light source than I expected, but like was just slightly not like just from the light source. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of base like the shadow mostly on the light source. So I'm gonna give the neutral color this space to work with. I need the light. What am I doing? There we go. Just need to do these. Also, this is not a clown horde. He's playing like a weird saxophone-y sound. It sounds like the Deku horns, honestly, from Majora's Mask. The weird Deku sax. Gonna add a couple dots there, just a little more. And then, even though I don't use it, like, we didn't use this at all in the front one, but I'm gonna do just at the center of this, like a little bit. Just a little bit of that. But I'm probably gonna, let's see, what happens if I dither this? Eh. Okay, well, it's dithering it into just a perfect diamond, but I will adjust that. If I do this, it's just almost a square. It has to get large to not be... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about dithering that. I think it looks better just as solid. Yeah, I feel like that gives it a little more something, you know? I don't want the legs to be entirely in shadow, even though kind of like would be, but just for the appeal of it. We're gonna fudge some lighting. I think on this one it's gonna be kind of like the upper shoulder gets most of the light, and it's not like light because this is all shadow here, but let's dither it down a little bit. Cut off a little leg. Is that enough leg, or do you want more leg? We talking that much, or we talking that much? 1 or 2 pixels. Three. Ooh. Spicy. Yeah, I think it looks good. Yeah, because you get that little bit of leg there. I'm thinking maybe doing a little bit of this to... Does that benefit it at all? That might be too much. Yeah, I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's difficult to do it over here, so I don't know. I think I'll just hold off on that for now and prioritize other things that make more sense to prioritize. I think this mouth looks good. This mouth. It's an eye. That looks fine. Maybe. Adding a slight amount more shadow to the ears. I don't really much point to adding too much, so gotta try to keep it light. I could do that as well. What happens if I do that? Oh, I kind of like that ear shape slightly more. Just looks a little happier. How's that? I think the back ear looks pretty fine though. The only thing I'm kind of debating with this back ear is if this would really just go in front of it, you know? Kind of like that. So you have like this. So are you saying... Okay, so that was the whole cutout for the ear. Yeah, like the only thing I'm wondering is like if the head shape kind of like if that part would have been obstructed on that one at least. Though I think we could do more to kind of indicate that there's a hole here. Like maybe. Kind of doing that. Alright, see you, Keith. Yeah, stitching looks good. I like there's like one light pixel right there. The edge of the cape, I think that's cute. Just like a tiny bit. Don't mind me. Brain was like, add zippy zap. Those are infinitely worse than the first one. Alright, yeah, I like that having slight kind of dominance in what gets sprited there. I think maybe... Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it now. Trying to think if there's anything else that really could use any touches. Cause like, I don't know. This looks like a small glowing cat critter, you know? Just all it really needs to be. I feel like that has a more continuous feeling arc. Big Fang. I don't know, I feel like that's all I can really do with this one. Which, granted, still was 30 minutes, but... You know, in the actual number of things, it was quite small. It was just mostly, like, fiddling with how those things that I changed were done. But, like... I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. Here, let me put it over here. Come over here. That's 30. Is that the correct number? Yes. At least according to this. Now we're in the cast. Get me out of here. Sprites. All right. So, done that. Back would just be... How much is this? 9. Okay. Yeah. That also looks good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's usually how shinies go. It's like, you've done everything and now it's suddenly a different color. It's like, yeah, that is certainly that, but a different color. I don't think the black looks too harsh on this either, which is kind of like the biggest worry with like a shiny palette that's a little lighter in tones. You know, like it looks good still. Which is good, which is good. Alright, you know, an interesting thing that I opted not to do for this one, that they actually do on Lantern. Lantern has that, like, black outline AA on its balls. I don't even know why, because they are glowing, but it does look cool. I know I used that when I was doing the version of it for the Fool's Gold Gen 3 sprites. Run to my desktop and steal that. Sprites. Full Scope Gen 3. Yeah, like this is completely based on it. I guess it's not in a great spot to show that. But yeah, you can see, put it right there. if I put it such that it is the light on this shiny Felitt's tail, you can see that it has that black outline. Which was interesting because that's very closely based on how Lantern was done originally in Gen 3. I don't know if I saved that sprite though. Do I have the... I save Pokemon sprites as I reference them for things sometimes, so I might actually. Fire Leaf Green. I do actually have it saved. Look at that. Look at me go. Yeah, you can see here's black. I guess in this case you could argue it's to kind of separate it from this part of the face a little more. And then it's also on this one, and that's not touching anything, so it's just like that stylistic choice. Which is interesting. But anyways, we're about to be doing another one. So what is this? 031. Okay, it is 031. What? I think that one might be one of the front sprites that's gonna need a second pass of touch-ups. I mean, I remember this being a really tricky pose for us too. Kind of like wrap heads around. That's funny. You look goofy. Yeah, I mean the mouth was kind of always gonna be doofy for this one. I think the things that really throw me off the most are like the feet, like that top foot, the foreshortening on its leg. I hate to say it, I don't know if it's the best, and I think I like tried tweaking that the first time I did it, like the touch-ups on it, and was not satisfied. Though I think I have an idea of a solution that might help, and that would be to kind of show like a little purple there maybe, but yeah, these feet were tricky. I don't know, I think this was just a really difficult pose for us to figure out how it would look in pixel art and how to like properly do it, and then I got it and I was like, I don't know how to do any of this, and so when I was doing the touch-ups, I'm like, this is that. I always kind of felt bad because I think the other front sprites look sick for that line. Like where's 2, like Pandemonium, that just looks sick. Like it's not perfect, you know, at this point, but I don't necessarily think this one, when I look at it, it screams give me touch-ups, you know. Same with Diabeast. You know, like they both look really good. At least compared to Sylphadot, who's kind of struggling. But that's okay. That's okay. We don't need to worry about that because the back sprite is infinitely better looking. Oh my god. Just looking at both of these next to each other. Jeez, that is so much better. Though, part of me kind of wants to soften this edge slightly. Because it's softer on the front. But I don't know, at least maybe for the ears. Or the ear here. Because I think this kind of gives it a little bit of a sense of like the hair is kind of fluffier here or something. Like there's...
No, it's Sylphadot.
But yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like this gives a little sense of form as well. Like on the front, it's, you know, it's very short hair, so it doesn't really do anything. Because like these spots still are just spots. But looking at this, I don't know, I might kind of cut back a little bit of this light. Because I don't think it really needs that much to kind of sell what it's trying to, you know? Because, like, we do have a lot of extra light sources, like this and this are both, at least apparently, you know, sending out some light, but I think just slightly toning it down looks a little better. Where is front sprite Sylphadot? Hey there, bud. Yeah, now his balls are really glowing. And that looks pretty much identical to how it was done. Actually, I'm gonna steal these colors while I'm here. I'm gonna index you based on what? Image 10? Yes. So currently we have no black in this. I'm gonna add it just because, despite being a little intense, some of these types of things. Actually, I'm thinking maybe just something like this. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, there's a pixel here, I think, too. Yeah, we're gonna get extra big. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm realizing I've been doing this whole thing. I forgot to switch which GIMP window it was picking as the main one. There we go. Jeezums. Good job, me. I've been like doing all these little things. And it's just been shiny Felitt the whole time. So looking at this, I feel like it does become too strong there. Got pulled big mode. There we go. I think, do I want any over here? Maybe along this. Do it. Does that look too intense? I feel like that might be too intense. Yeah. Alright, I'm not gonna do it on that part then. I don't know, now I'm kind of debating doing it on the face where I did it too. It's like, at some level it does look good, you know? But I don't know, it is pretty white. Okay. What's he saying?
He's saying how?
What? It's illegal.
Why do you say how?
Who all was watching?
I mean, we got a mic, I believe. I don't know. He hasn't said anything in a while. I don't know if I'm doing good. Could also just be my phone decided by not doing the chat correctly, which sometimes happens. Or whatever. So I've played a little bit, not a ton. Okay. Mike still exists. He's just also doing other stuff. He'd be juggling chats.
Jordan, look at him.
What's your food?
Mine's pork, MSG, and rice cakes.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to kind of capture how it looks in normal ones. The only thing I'm kind of debating is my use of it on this because this is bright, but
Jordan. I haven't actually eaten any of the leftover yet. The rice cakes soaked it all up.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce a little bit. of the true black use. While still using like enough for it to kind of look neat. Here, I think this might help some on this. Using some of this type of AA.
If I could give you some, I would finish. But I can't.
I don't know about that one. Is it? I mean, I guess. There's quite the there's quite the inspiration pull for some of this one. Here, I'm just gonna save this, at least for now, just because I want to see how it looks if I pull it up. You know, as a sprite. And this. Say I need Sprite 3. That honestly looks really nice. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I think maybe just like a hint more hard separation might satisfy what I'm looking for on the tail here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. That makes sense. Something I'm kind of like debating. Does this look nicer that way? No, because that looks dumb. Alright, what do you think of this as it stands? Why, hello. Well, how's it going? Here, we're gonna do that. Is that? Is that too much? I feel like that doesn't feel like too much. You in fact did. Yeah, I'm just working primarily right now on kind of like taking sprites that have a little bit of like spots that are rough around the edges from our project, and just kind of like making them a little bit more, just just give them that little extra. I can try. All right, I'll do what I can on that. Here, I'll like open up that. Is this the current one? Okay, if I have access to it with this account, it should be the current one. Alright, that'll be fun. I'll have that saved on the back burner. Yeah, actually, we're the region we've been working on since April 2017 now is it was inspired by our college campus, and like in the end our goal is to kind of just have it be like, because it's going to have so many direct references to our campus tied to that. But I remember we said when we first started this, we're like, man, how did it take Pokemon Uranium 9 years? We can get this done by the end of this year, or by like the next. And that was when we were freshmen, and now we've both graduated. Well, we have been given diplomas. We graduate on the 31st of July. Don't worry about it. So we've been working on this for a long time, and most of what we've done is just working on the sprites themselves and the art for all of our different Fakemon. And I would argue that still has some ways to go before it's fully done. We've done a lot, but we haven't done it all. I'm gonna add... Still... No, that's too much. No, it's too much. That's enough. Don't remind me about box sprites. Those ones are my nightmare. But yeah, we've come quite a ways. Because like we're getting to the point where like I'm seeing old ones that I did, and I'm just like, man, I gotta rework some of this. The sprite's poopy now. Like I've been taking mental notes as I go through like the back sprites, and I'm like, gotta tweak that. The one thing I don't want to touch, I am not touching Smoke Rose color palette again. When I was working on its back sprite, it was a nightmare because I really screwed up the color palette on it, but it's fine. We had this really cool idea, just, it was naive to say the least, given color limitations. That's fine. Our fire starter looks normal. Here, I think that's pretty good on this part. So what I want to do is I want to steel. Is that should be that one? That color palette. Man, I forgot how much I like this shiny. I really like this shiny. Yeah, you've been kind of grinding your way through them over time. See, box sprites are hard for me because like they're such loose representations because they're so small, and like that just does not sit well in my brain's ability to be like, yep, that's it, that's this Fakemon right here, you know. It's just it hurts my brain to be like, oh. Yeah, exactly. You get to the point where you start going, man, look at all these things I can change and I can update, and it's like at some point you have to kind of stop yourself. I don't think I've quite gotten that far, but I've been holding myself back specifically so that I don't have to stop myself, because once I get started I feel like it's going to be a lot harder to stop. But yeah, I've been very strict. I've seen so many games. I have some sprites actually, like in Pokemon Infinite Fusion, from when I did a playthrough on my channel of Pokemon Infinite Fusion, and I went through and for all of the Pokemon that at least as of my build, did not have custom sprites. I made custom sprites for them. And I followed the color palette restrictions of Gen 5 and Gen 4 and 3. All of those use basically the same restrictions. I went through all of those and was very strict with how I did it. And when I submitted them, some of the guys were like, you don't have to hold to those color limits. You can be free to do however many you want. And I'm like, but get this, they won't look as good. Because they won't look as consistent. There are a few sprites in that game that went over the limits that I was like, it did it justifiably. It did it well, There are so many that just had like 35 colors for no reason. And I'm like, why? Why do you have 35? It's literally a 96 by 96 picture. It's too many colors. Granted, it's not like they're bad or anything, All of the art that people have made for Pokemon Infinite Fusion is amazing, but like some of my least favorite ones were definitely the ones that kind of overruled the classic color limitations. I think the only one that was like super justifiable, I think, was there's a plot introduced fusion that's a triple fusion, and that one they wanted each part of it to look distinct and like the original. I get that. That's a great reason. If you're going to go over the limits, do it for a legendary or for a plot relevant thing. It makes all the difference. But also, since I did this, let me put this one in. 031 back. I'm really happy with how those back sprites look. I didn't really even have to do much. We're almost to an hour, and I've done those two. I think those look really good. Especially like when you put the Sylphadot one to like correct scale. It just looks so good. Yeah, I've seen people who've like fully gone and made their entire own region of like Fakemon, and it's impressive the amount, one, of like dedication, but two, of just like creativity to have one person create all of that, because we've had so many people. Sure. Yeah. Like there's so much work to it, and then there's also like just when it comes to, because like for us we have like what, 220 some now, or like 200. We have like a little over 200 some different Fakemon, and then we have like extra forms and stuff, but like we've had so many people come up with them. I think we've had at least like 10 people come up with them at the least, because like almost everyone on the team, if not everyone on the team, has come up with at least one Fakemon. Even people who were on the team for like the tiniest bit of time, and like we've had all these ideas from all these different people. So like, and some of our best ideas have kind of come from like playing off of ideas someone would come in with, and then we'd kind of workshop it into something better. But like, I would argue the most of them are probably like myself or Mike here, or are like original lead artist Anza, who he did a ton of them. But like there are so many others that were just from anyone on the team, like oh, I want to design a map, but also can I get a mon? And we're like, yeah, why not? Everyone gets a mon. Yeah, Mike was really living for the idea. I mean, honestly, I think everyone lives for like that, making your own Fakemon thing. That was why we had actually, because we had it locked. We're like, no more mons. We're good. And then new people would come and be like, I have an idea for a mon. It's like, all right, we can't say no. We can't say no to like letting a new person have their new mon. You know, because like that's like our favorite parts of the process was like, man, what if we had all these cool things? Yeah, like that part of the process just hits different. But I am going to real quick. Okay, that's full screen now. I'm trying to remember which one of these would be the right one. I think this work? Okay. It's on the right screen. Yes. All right. So I'm invisible right now. I know, right? Lucky draw for Sylphadot being the next song. But yeah, so this is our actual like main document where we have the stats, we have the abilities. Like this is like our baseline document. We have like more individualized ones for like different moves, but like we've got so many. This is the one. Never touching that one's color palette, please. Because we tried to make the smoke translucent, and it doesn't really look all that translucent, but as a result, there's some colors that are literally just in the smoke, but like on this one, they're not. Like, because I just made some of them the same because they looked the same anyways. And so like, it's, I don't know, this one was weird. Yeah, our starter sets were all inspired by different animals that were around campus. Also, this is our, this is one of our breaking the rules mons. Breaking the rules on that one was my idea. I sub-pixeled, which I remember I put this in a Fakemon Discord, and people got so mad that I sub-pixeled. They were like, "What do you mean you sub-pixeled? Disgusting! You shouldn't sub-pixel. It would look better if you removed that." I'm like, but the whole point is it's an interdimensional being. I'm gonna sub-pixel it. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look out of place. And the subpixels are exclusively on like these distortion effects on it, so I don't think it's a big deal. But it was really funny seeing everyone be like all up at arms because I did some subpixeling. They're like, "Oh, how could you?" But yeah, our starters are all just animals that we had around campus. So squirrels, blue jays, and crows. And worms. Obvious weed reference. Haha, everyone's default fire antmon idea. You take an ant, you set it on fire. This one was a weird idea. I don't even remember. Okay, so apparently Jules came up with that. It's just there's a larva in a bubble. And then the bubble is the cocoon. And then you get like a butterfly. That one's neat. Oh, this is a crispy one. I kind of want to do retouch-ups on this one. Also to give it its legs back, because it only has this one leg on that side. The rest are just not there. Because it's easier to draw it that way, but I want to add some legs back at some point. But yeah, we got all sorts of ones. These two are the same mon, different forms, just wildly different. RNG Dice Mon, Fire Alarm, Siren thing. Got an Automaton that goes into a Treble Clef and a Bass Clef Pokemon. We've got controllers. We literally have the Switch Dog. Possums, because I think they're adorable, and I thought it would be fun for them to be our game's Rattata, but also with like a not bad ability. I came up with an ability called Play Dead, where basically the first time you knock it out, it basically does the regenerator effect of you get 1/3 of your health back, but it's only after you get knocked out the first time. So if someone like hits you with like Brick Break and it takes you out for whatever reason, you can come back again with 1/3 health. But the plan is for that to only be able to occur once per battle. I have no idea how effectively that's going to be done, but hopefully it'll work. Yeah, here's the line that I've been working on in today's stream. I did these two. They're back sprites. Just the other two in that line. All like an electric. Oh, it's move-based evolution. So they're kind of like a cross between Eevee, but also like not Eevee, because it's move-based, but it's fine. This is our most form-heavy line, I think. We've got all these batteries. And then when they evolve, they're leaky batteries, which we only have one sprited right now. Lemon. I like that design so much. He's so goofy. This is one of my favorite sprites I've ever done, like ever. As like not just in this project. It's a beer slug that basically it's a slug that secretes like a beer from itself. That purple stuff is like a cohabitating bacteria, like yeast. So yeast I think is technically a fungus, but like, you know, it's like a cohabitating, you know, thing that basically is getting sugars from it eating berries, and then that produces a beer-like beverage, and then it evolves based on an item, or based on which item you use, into two different vomit Pokemon. I like this one a lot because he's the if you give him a grain pouch to like actually get like beer, you get this one. And I just like his eyes, and I think he's cute. Shiny's based on a Bloody Mary. We got whales. That's about it. They're actually inspired by a piece of art that was on our campus, which they took down. And it was very sad because it now lives on through this project. Yeah, that's fair. That's the easiest way to do it, because it can be hard to kind of try to balance too many projects all at once. This one didn't even start as a submission for Amon. It was like a drawing that Mike had done, and then our lead artist saw it and was like, oh, I'm gonna draw that. And now we're putting it in the game. Brain Sheep. We got Kid, You, Egoat, and Ziegmund. I really like this line. I've worked on all of the sprites for this line, but just in general, I really like all of the concepts that went into it. It started just so that we could have a Pokemon named You for a joke. Shark is an abomination. Oh no, he's got big tooths. I like him, he's funky. He's a funky little dude. Shelf fungus pun. I think this line's pretty neat. Mirror Ghost. This one actually, the concept behind this was originally proposed by my oldest brother, who's completely uninvolved in the project, but it was just an idea for Amon he'd had for a long time, which was Amon with no reflection, and then it becomes its own reflection, and inside the mirror, whatever it does to the reflection of another Pokemon happens to that Pokemon. So basically, it's like it exists outside the reflection, but is invisible, and you can see exactly what it's doing if you can see its reflection. So that one was just like a neat concept. Mike's mascot line, the robot anime idol, or I guess pop idol line. Yeah, we were looking to a campus audience, so there's like a lot of the things we have on it are like either tied to specific fields, or, you know, specific memes we had around campus. That's why you and Wall exist. It was because for a while people got obsessed with the one video that was like It's a Cold and It's a Broken Waluigi. And people would sing it, and we wanted to have that be like slipped in as a joke. And basically it would be you'd start a trainer battle with someone who eventually it would be revealed is the champion, but is in the department of his major in the gym, and he says it's a cold and it's a broken, and then sends out in the order Wall, you, and then the Pokemon Ichi, which is right here. So we made them all normal types, which was our computer science type. Basically, we based our gyms on different fields, and we were like, well, Porygon's a normal type, so we'll make it normal type. Because why not? And so we have this normal type gym that we had to come up with 3 different Pokemon to fit that joke. I mean, mastering that Ken Sugimori style is definitely like that takes a lot of practice. Mastering pixel art as well, because it's at the same time very similar and very different from like getting that, you know, high res art. I would say for me, I sucked at pixel art a lot early on. I remember getting very frustrated and just like quitting every time this was the actual project that made me do it and like hold to it, you know? And my work was heavily improved just by constantly working with someone who knew what they were doing with like actual art. And like actual drawing and just like working, because what we mostly do is pixel over of the actual art that our artists draw. But like kind of having to work with like good like hand-drawn art and kind of get a feel for what are natural curves like, you know, in pixel art or otherwise. Because it's very easy to just pixel over exactly what you see, but sometimes it looks better if you don't. You know, sometimes you want to smooth it a little more, or you want to add like a little texture. So like that kind of stuff definitely ended up making a huge impact, and now I do pixel art a lot on my own time as a platypus line. This one was one of the ones, this line developed by someone who had pretty limited involvement in the project, but like who had a hand. I guess, yeah, he had 2 lines. I mean, I've seen some good drawings out of you, Mike. Don't you discredit yourself. I mean, you don't do Sugimori style, but like, that ain't easy. You know? And like, even Lin struggles with Sugimori style sometimes, and we all know how good he is. Yeah, we got this one. This one was literally just George Washington / Thunderbird. This one's the only George Washington one, the rest are Thunderbird. I think this one looks funny. I like him. Negative emotion salamander. Makes poison. Make it happy, and it becomes your friend and evolves. My dirt clump Pokemon. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely easy to burn out. Like, I would say don't try to push yourself too hard if you're feeling like you need a break from, you know, just designing things or drawing things, you know, take that break. Like, don't make it a forever break necessarily, but like, don't be afraid to give yourself a day to not do it. I mean, there have been times when I've gone months without doing one of the sprites for a project. It's part of the reason it's taken us so long to get as many as we have. because like there'd just be times when I'm literally doing nothing. Like when I first moved into this house, I literally, I mean, I didn't stream for a while, but I also did nothing on the project for the longest time. Oh, magician birds. These ones are fun. Menassist can make things disappear. Plume magician can add individual ones, and multibrew can multiply the number of them. Aha. Math birds. We literally made them because we wanted to have a character class called a math magician, and that was it. This one's really cool. It's just based on a Terrask, but also like ice, so Winterask. I think this one looks really cool. I'm really happy with how it looked. I mean, my original drawing for this one's awful. Wait, let me see if I can find it. I got it next to me. Got it next to me. Where is it? Where's the bad drawing that led to the good drawing that Anza did for it? Yeah, this whole project has honestly really improved my ability to draw. I'm still not great, but like, I'm much better than I was a long time ago. Thanks to constantly working with art. It's almost like if you work in an artistic field, other arts start to become a little easier to do and to process. There is... I feel like I've passed up where Winterask was drawn initially. Where are you? Can't be too far now. I feel like it's gotta be on one of these pages. No, can't be too far. I know I drew it very big, wherever it is. Ah! It's very much the basic concept. Yeah, it's fair. There are a lot of great tutorials out there. You don't need us. Wait, I should probably... Okay, wait, camera... Yeah, that's the camera. Yeah, look at him. That was my original drawing for this. I drew this at, like, what, 19 probably? Maybe still 18? No, I would have been 19 by then, yeah. So, yeah. It looks a lot better now. It's literally, we're even designing the shape of the region around our campus, so it's literally just our college. It's, each of the towns is like a different major building, but then, you know, as far as like wildlife goes around the region, a lot of them are partially inspired by just what lives in our college campus's area, but then there's a lot that are inspired by like different things that people do at our college, or different fields, or just we came up with an idea and said, yeah, that works. Yeah, it is just our college but upscaled. Each building is like a literal city. Oh, I really like this line. They're like little cinnamon rolls. Well, this one's cassia, this one's cinnamon, but there's they're bugs that live inside of them. I think they're a really cool idea. College, the greatest country to ever be existing. We actually, if you didn't notice, way up before there was a fighting type penguin that was also black and gold. Literally, it was just our lead artist, Anza. He's not from the US. He's from Indonesia, and he wanted, because of his time, because we went to college in Pennsylvania. Some of our friends were from Pittsburgh. I currently live in Pittsburgh. But he wanted to kind of have an homage to the Pittsburgh sports teams. So there's a rock fighting type football dinosaur that's inspired by the Steelers. It actually has the numbers on its hands of Mean Joe Green, who played on the Steelers in like the 80s, something like that. And then the fighting type penguin is also similar color palette because it's inspired by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah, this is our other fossil, because this is one of our fossil lines. This is the other fossil line, which is inspired by some physics properties, as well as just we wanted a raptor. And haha, it's funny because we didn't realize everyone who wants to do raptor things, they always do an electric type raptor. But we also combined ours with physics, and I think it made ours cooler for it. Because not only do they look pretty neat, but Turbo Snapter is based initially on like Jounce, and its name pulls from the next one up, which is Snap, which, as you derive the different like curves, you get to, you know, higher and higher levels of like physical properties of motion. And Jounce and Snap is sudden movements. So the idea for this one is that it literally moves not by accelerating, but by increased, like it doesn't increase its rate of acceleration to move faster. I guess Acceleraptor does. But when Turbo Snapter moves, it increases its rate of snap, which causes it to just teleport from place to place, and it makes taser click noises. Like you're just like, and then whenever it stops, it just creates a sonic boom, and like electricity, like and sparks go flying off because it literally just appeared there, moving that fast, and it was like, and it's big explosion. Just really fun concept, and because of that, it has some really interesting abilities. So the first is Jerk Force. Actually, that's right. Its name is based on Snap, which I believe is Jounce. Like, Jounce is the actual scientific name. And then Jerk is the one before that, both of which deal with different types of sudden movements. And Jerk Force makes any of its moves have a flinch chance, just because it's like just appearing there and boom, you have this impact. And it does that. And then Jounce Warp... actually, no. Jounce Warp does the flinch chance, I believe. Jerk Force takes your speed, which this thing is very fast. It takes your speed and takes a percentage of that and adds that to your attack stat. So it makes you a stronger physical attacker, and boosting your speed gives you extra attack boost that you would be able to, if you were to max both your attack and, like, if you were to max your attack and then max your speed, you'd get like an extra bit of attack on top. You don't really need to at that point, but like, I don't know. I just thought it would be a fun way to make something that can be a mixed attacker or a physical attacker, because, you know, moving this fast, it makes sense for that. Befoliage, Vines, our Bug Ice type and our Ice Bug type line to Ice Dragon. That makes sense. That's really cool. Iceland would be a really cool place to kind of do, because it's contained on an island, which makes it easy to design like a whole region in the shape of. But in general, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in like Nordic cultures. I think it would be really cool to see more like Nordic Fakemon out there, because they're neat. Is Jounce? I thought Jounce was Snap. Does it go Jounce, then Snap, then Crackle? I don't know. Yeah, it's funny because Snap, Crackle, and Pop are such useless derivatives that they're literally just a joke name. Little pointy stabby fairies. Jounce is Snap? Okay. Wind babies. Delicious bacon pig. It starts out in a pot, and then it's on a spit, and then you free it from the spit, and it becomes... Our original concept behind this one was rocket pig, but now it has become so far from a rocket Yeah, Iceland, you could have a lot of really cool scenery with that. There's just like a lot of hot springs there too, right? Just because of the amount of volcanic activity. So like, you could have a lot of different colors to like rock formations and like the water in it and stuff. Like, it could be a very visually interesting place, as well as having like that cool dichotomy, you know. But like Blasterloin here is funny because, you know, we went so far from that rocket concept. Yeah, that's fair. But kind of the way it works at this point, at least the way it works in my head, if I imagine this thing like functioning IRL in a game, it would, you know, it has its log, and it just grabs it and swings it down, slams it down, and that causes a ton of like sparks and flames to just go poof, you know, shooting downward. And then that launches it like a rocket into the air, and its hat gives it like a little bit of a rocket aerodynamic structure, and it shoots into the air and then just like lands somewhere. That's my current way I see it as a rocket right now. Because originally it was just like a pig, and then he goes like, ugh, and then goes, and then flies. But that was very dumb, and it didn't end up looking great. And then Lynn made it look absolutely godlike. And that was that. Alchemy bird. Or not alchemy, witch doctor bird. Plague doctor, not witch doctor. Plague doctor bird. Like werewolf and like other cryptid line. Literally a grill. My other brother came up with the grill. Because he thought it would be funny. He's like, you gotta have a grill Pokemon, and you gotta name it Hot Grill. And I was like, I hate that name, but how about Butane? And then Barbecuity came to mind, and then I designed them, and I showed him, and he was like, these look disgusting, I hate them. I'm like, good. And then I sent them off, and the grills got drawn up, and they look so cool to me now, like Butane especially. So it's like a four-legged quadrupedal grill thing with flames that pour out, and the idea is that the flames kind of fan out to look almost like wings. I don't know, it's just like, it's ridiculous, and I love it. It also has lipstick, and who doesn't want a grill with lipstick? Like, I don't know, it just amuses me so much. Hands. Literal hands. This line, to quote our lead artist when he first got it, was, man, this reminds me of a Digimon. So he like workshopped it a lot to make it still hands and still feel a little bit additive, but to not be, as in Anza's mind, Digimonish. Because Anza loves Digimon, but he's like, we're designing a Pokemon here. So it went from one line of cool looking hands to another line of cool looking hands. And I gotta say, I freaking love this line. Like, it's so neat. I really love Cyclotch's design because it's like, it's literally like two hands like this with a face in the middle. Sick concept. My Mandrake, Specdrake, cute little baby. He screams. I don't know why everything I draw has horrified looking eyes, and so that I was like, oh man, I gotta take this Specdrake and, you know, I have to like make a Mandrake that does this and screams, you know? It's fun. And then Ruta Banshee, so Rutabaga. Got what was meant to be kind of a Dolly-esque or Asherian. Well, this one was going to be like based on Asher. We were gonna have one based on Dolly, but we couldn't come up with a way to do it, so we're like, screw that. Get out of here, Artbird. And we deleted one and kept this one. There's a line of little demons that are cute and counter fairy types despite being dark types. So we got Dark Steel and we got Dark Ghost. This one's meant to be like Mercury or something, you know, like a liquid metal. And then we were like, oh, Dark Ghost, because it literally, we're just gonna say like it sucks in like the souls of the fairies and creates a poison against fairies out of them or something. I don't know. Cool, edgy idea. And then we made them very cute, and then they wound up dabbing. Spotify started in Sweden? I did not know that started in Sweden. I guess that's fair. I knew about IKEA, I knew about Minecraft, I knew about Lego being Nordic as well. I did not know about Spotify. But yeah, I think these ones were fun. Fun designs. This one was cool. It's just a little caterpillar that is front and back, looks pretty much the same. Evolves into this really cool thing. This one is so hard to see the details on. It was so hard for me to sprite it and look good, but oh my god. I'm really happy with the sprite. It's very busy, but it's just because it's a busy design. I think it's a really epic looking design though. These ones, based on like elemental lizards, the Charufes. We have a meth Pokemon and an ecstasy Pokemon, and they're kind of tragic. The ecstasy one, everyone loves it because, you know, it's like ecstasy, but it literally just gives you that kind of euphoric feeling just from being near it. And if it, you know, makes people happy, people are gonna want more of them. So people get them and they love it. They're like, oh, I love my ecstasy. And then eventually it evolves. And it becomes a meth Pokemon, and people get super addicted to it now. And it realizes, after evolving, that all it does is hurt the people around it, and it becomes very sad. And that's why he has a sad face, because he's just meth. And he doesn't want to be meth. And I love him, because I think he's very cute and very sad. I think it's just a very fun concept for him, because he's an addictive Pokemon, and it makes him sad to know that people don't like him because he's cute and excite him. People only like him because he gets them high, and they're addicted, and it makes him sad. We got this coal fairy. Probably not the most inspired design. That's my fault. I was like, how do I make a coal fairy? And I was like, oh, take a lump of coal, give it wings and eyes. Done. I feel like I could have done something more interesting. Now that we have a coal Pokemon and it's more interesting, you know, I feel kind of ashamed. We got this line that I haven't done the touch-ups on yet, but I plan to, which is really cool because it is a very different female sprite set versus its male. This line was named based on different Indonesian words, kind of to surprise our artist who's Indonesian and be like, look at this, we did this for you. It's a bunch of like steel water types, or water steel types. This one looks like a fishing lure, this one's got like anchor designs, and this one's kind of got like a harpoon design. I think this line looks really cool. It's also the line that started to make me realize it kind of made me have to break some of the rules that I had as far as spriting went prior to it, so I kind of have, it has a special place in my heart for what it made me have to do to make it look good, and I appreciate that. This one's literally just a reference to our campus. It steals bricks. People would steal bricks. Swing me the GPS. Sweden designed seatbelts? I don't know, it's weird to think of like just a person going and like inventing the modern seatbelt, but I guess that makes sense that it had to start somewhere, you know? Flat screen monitor. Yo, Sweden's pretty dope. This one I actually did the touch-ups on literally last stream. Augurock. The other two aren't quite done with their designs. This is our Pikachu clone. We took the traditional Pikachu idea of making it a Japanese name, and then taking that and making it into, you know, just the name. So this one's name comes from Joey and Joy Buzzer, so it would have been Joey Buzzer. Oh, a lot of people stole bricks. A lot of people stole bricks, literally, because we had brick paths all over campus and brick roads all over campus, so people would just, as a keepsake, steal bricks from, like these literal, like, 200-year-old brick paths. And they would have to put new bricks in all the time. There'd just be bricks missing. Yeah, it's kind of sad and it's kind of funny at the same time, but yeah, they would literally just grab these red bricks and keep them. And yeah, like they would just kind of become loose over time. But yeah, people would just steal bricks from all of our walking paths and all of our roads. There'd be just holes where there used to be bricks. Yeah, and then that's right, there was the other one. Yeah, it was like frats would steal the 13th plank of a bridge. And I think they both forgot which one was the correct 13th, and so like every year someone gets the wrong one or something, I don't know. But yeah, lots of weird theft of objects used to construct things on our campus, and that one steals those. But yeah, this one was Joey Buzzer, but in Japanese that would be like Joy Buzuru. Which actually, this is just how you say Joy Buzzer in Japanese. Like, it's literally just named Joy Buzzer. But then we were like, okay, so we have Joy Buzzer, or Joey Buzzer, or Joey Buzuru, and then you take that and you evolve it, so you have Joy Buzuru 2 Electric Boogaloo. So we went with Boogaloo, which is the direct, if you translate Boogaloo into Japanese and you take it back out, and you take those katakana, it's just Boogaloo. So it was Joy Buzuru 2 Electric Boogaloo. And it's a kangaroo. So it's just a fun name structure. I was really happy with when we came up with those. And yeah, it's just it's a cute little marsupial Pikachu clone deal. This one's just cool. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just neat. This one is Loch Ness Monster inspired / like Plesiosaur inspired. And it like ends up being like a dragon water type with like flying themes to it. It like stirs up storms at sea. Just thought would be fun. This is another line that splits. It's based on different fists, I guess. I don't know. We got this is the boxing themed one. We got Scuffy, which I don't know. He's just like a boxing glove dude. Bruzaha, which is kind of the direct one where it's just he's like he'd be punching. Rumblebee, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He stings like a bee. Bruzen, which is a psychic type one, and Tussle. Actually, well, is Bruzaha a middle stage, or is he a final? I think he was originally going to be a final. Yeah, that's right. So this is the middle stage. Never mind. So yeah, he's the direct evolution of this one, and then you get all of these. And this one's like a ghost one. There's like punchy ghost, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun. And then we have what we call the Four Horsemen. So this one is War. It's a dragon. It's like a sort of like European dragon because, you know, like medieval combat, war, stuff like that. This one's Pestilence, which it has. They all have 2 stages. This one also has a full form and a single form, where it gathers a bunch of bugs, you know, Pestilence style. This one is Famine. It starts as like a kind of like an apple core kind of a deal, but not really an apple. Looks more like an acorn. And then it becomes a food hoarding little, like almost like a Sableye kind of food hoarding goblin thing. I think he's cute. And then this one is Death, which is like a sort of like, it starts as like a vampire and a bone, and then it becomes Bone Death. But these here are actually the legs here. Thought that would be neat. 3 different types of illness. Little did we know when we came up with these ones, eventually it would seem that, I don't know, would this be Sixical would be closest to COVID? Little did we know that these guys would actually be screwing up the world. Actually, Mike, isn't that literally the issue of the plot? Is that these guys screw up everything? Like, things go wrong, like they spark the plot. They spark the story of the game. Dang. We didn't know that there'd be COVID happening. I studied French in high school, but that's as far as I got with most of my multilingual attempts. I've tried some Japanese, not great at it because it's very different. I also, for some reason in high school, was like, I want to learn Irish. And so I did learn a little bit of Gaelic. Not very much. I learned enough to know that the word far means man, and far is spelled like the English word fear, and I went, haha, man equals fear. Anyways, this is one of our pseudo-legendary lines. We actually have like 4 of them, don't worry about it. They're all very different. Like, we made sure that each line was different. This one's kind of the bulky physical one. It's all of their names are palindromes, and they're all based on different things. Like, this one's just like an Ouroboros. This one's Hodag, and this one's a Grootslang. But its name also is kind of pulled from Ragnarok, just because it worked better as far as the name went. But yeah, I think this line's really cool. This is another pseudo-legendary line. We don't have all of its sprites done yet, but it's based on some sculptures we have on campus. But it's also like a Prince Rupert's Drop theme, and a David Bowie theme. So there's a bunch of different themes kind of coalesced into it. It's pretty neat. It's a literal glass cannon, as far as its stats go. Yeah, this is where we're starting to get into like things that we have concepts for, but we haven't like sprited yet, because these rooms were all more recent. And then this is when we start getting to our legendaries. This is our roaming legendary. It roams between like different shrines. It's based on a joke we had on campus of the weather machine, because we'd have like these pretty intense winters, and the joke was that if you wanted the winter to end, you had to sacrifice a freshman to the weather machine. So it's a literal weather machine. It produces snow. I don't think we ever sacrifice any freshmen to it, but yeah, it's kind of like a robotic version of like the Thunderous, Tornadus, Elandorus kind of a vibe, where you got a little cloud. Actual legendaries though, we've got these ones. These are basically our box legendaries. They're inspired by different clubs we had on campus, because they kind of take the roles of the evil teams. You have Team Gen and Team Roll. One is video game inspired, one is tabletop and like board game inspired. And so that's where the like Switch Dog goes to as the video game team, and then the Dice Pokemon goes to the other. That's sort of like their signature mons. But Malagama, and Quargadile, they both have the names of the clubs. There was Lag was the video game club, and Argo was the board game / tabletop club. So we wanted to go for like this really cool, like sort of like we wanted them to both be inspired by alligators and crocodiles, because our college, its mascot was or is the alligator. So we wanted to make different like dragons inspired by those. I think those look pretty cool. I don't think we sacrificed any teachers or janitors. Mostly freshmen. Which, honestly, it's kind of sad because, because the college we went to is pretty rigorous, and there's a lot of people who will drop out after freshman year. So you could always joke that the people who didn't come back were the ones who were sacrificed. But yeah, this is our like main mythical for the game. It's a stick insect, because I picked up sticks a lot, and people said we should have a stick bug that's a literal stick. I don't know if people said that or if I said that, but someone said it. Someone said we need to have a stick bug. And then I was like, well, what if we had like a separate form for it too? Where it becomes a treant. So I came up with this idea where it kind of like becomes just more aggressive looking. And this is actually the only sprite we have that breaks from Gen 3 sprite sizing, because everything else is put within a 64 by 64 area. This one is actually technically within an 80 by 80 sprite, but it only goes out on the y-axis. It's like 66 or 67 pixels tall. So it's not much larger, but it is the largest sprite in terms of height of any of them in the game. And then this is the third box legendary of sorts. It's inspired by a statue we have on campus that is basically, the idea is that it splits into 3 entities. The statue itself becomes Revigator, and then these 2 burst forth from it as well. But that's everything we've got. This one's a really cool design. But yeah, that is all of the ones we've got. We have 220 different Fakemon concepts right now. A lot of them have new moves and new abilities and stuff. What is cute? So yeah, we got like this kind of thing to track to see like how we're doing as far as different types go, because we wanted it to be pretty even. We wanted it to be something where you could have a team of any type that you wanted, and it would still work out. But yeah, right now we have a lot that need final sprites still, but honestly it's not too much. It's less than a quarter of it now. Back sprites we need a lot of. We do need a lot of those. But yeah, that's kind of a look behind the scenes at everything we've got right now, which is a lot. We've done a lot. It's crazy looking back at this, because it's literally been more than 4 years now that Mike and I have been working on this, because we're kind of like the project heads at this point. Yeah, it's crazy looking back on all of these different sprites that we've got and all these different Pokemon. It's funny because like every time a new Pokemon game would come out, we'd feel like reinvigorated and be like, yeah, we're gonna do a ton of work on this again. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily work out exactly that way, but it's still been a really fun experience. Even if we're not done yet, Even though we're no longer in college. Like, I don't care. It's been a good time. I think Mike would agree. This has been a very fun part of our time at college and outside of college. Yeah, with that, I've really done everything I really set out to do in this stream. I did that, 50 minutes ago before I started going through all the different Fakemon that we've got. But yeah, that's all I really have for today's stream. Yeah, it's been I've always struggled with commitment to projects like this, but having so many people involved who were like close friends always kept me more involved. And so it's been really cool, even like though I'd like kind of slip out of it at times, kind of coming back in. I don't know, it's really cool because this is like the longest project I've really had other than like this YouTube channel, and I guess like YouTube in general. But yeah, thank you so much for coming, Esperblocks. It's been great chatting with you and with Mike, and earlier while Keith was here with Keith. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get going here in a second. So thank you so much if you joined me live or after the fact. Either way is cool with me as long as you had some fun. That said, I have got to go do human things as humans do, and you probably should too. So thank you so much. Best of luck. I'll be doing more spriting in 1 week from today. I should still be streaming on Saturday. I kind of realized that one of our friends is going to actually be staying at my house and is going to be arriving that afternoon. But I think I would be streaming before they'd be getting here. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll be back in just a few days with more Metopia and another week with more sprites. So yeah. Thanks so much. Goodbye. I'll go put those sprites in the Discord, Mike. But yeah.